So I'm out here on the golf course today on Saturday. Not working today. Generally, I take Saturdays off anyway because there's no U.S. mail to be picked up. But, work 14 hours solid, and, just looking at that computer screen really gave me a migraine headache, and my wife told me, hey, you're just killing yourself. So I wanted to make a video today just to stress the importance of just getting out. And, this is your business, but you also have to take care of yourself. And, especially with this pandemic, just getting out of the house, it's really important. So I wanted to bring a video to you to also show the perspective of another person who just began selling on eBay last year when we moved out to Las Vegas. He moved out here at the same time I did last July. And he wanted to give it a try. And I want to have you hear basically his perspective for those of you who are just starting to sell on eBay. So without any further ado, let's go. So again, like I said, we're out having a good day, taking a break from eBay, and it's something that I would recommend that you do as well. You have to take a break from this business. It'll eat you up. The other day I worked about 14 hours and my wife said, you can't do this. You're going to just kill yourself. So came out, played a round of golf. We're doing another round of golf. It's a beautiful day. And I have with me a good friend of mine, Mike. And he went into the reselling business with me last year. And he sort of had a falling out. It wasn't for him. But I want you to have his perspective as to what the reselling business is for those of you who've never sold on eBay before. This is Mike, and we both lived in Southern California for most of our lives. I mean, he's been overseas, he's been in the military, and he's retired, and he wanted an extra source of income. So last year I got him into reselling, hooked him up with some merchandise I wasn't selling, and we went in and got a pallet together. Once we both moved to Las Vegas in the same month, and so we decided to try to make this eBay thing work. It took off for me. He hasn't really done so much with it lately, but I want to give you a perspective, maybe as a new time eBay seller, what to look for when you're first starting out. So Mike, give us a little background as to why you wanted to try eBay selling.
How you guys doing? This is Mike Talacio from Las Vegas. Beautiful Lake Las Vegas. We're taking a break from working at home. John has had the business for a while, and I saw what he was doing. He used to work for another company, and basically the company closed out. That's why we moved here to Las Vegas. John did with his family, and I was moving about the same time. I was tired of California taxes, so we came to eBay. What I ended up doing was I saw what John was doing. John was buying stuff from different online services, where pallets of either electronics or hair dryers or whatever it may be. And I probably spent about $3,500 or almost $4,000 of buying a whole garage full of stuff. And I was selling pretty good. The only thing that I don't like about eBay was I was buying cell phones and I was buying tablets. And they were locked up because people had already purchased them from different companies, whether Kmart or somewhere else.
Part of the liquidation.
The liquidation.
Right.
And what they did was they would have an email or something locking the phone. So I had a lot of stuff coming back. And that's the only reason why I really stepped back from working in eBay for a minute. I'd rather prefer to buy something that doesn't have to be inspected, as in electronics, and trying to see if you can unlock somebody else's password, that kind of stuff. Otherwise, working from home with a scale, a measuring tape, and having my own printer, I'm printing the labels, and I'm using different companies for shipping. And I thought it was wonderful. You can work from home.
Well, tell us about a time where you may have had your first run-in with a difficult customer.
The first difficult customer I had it was my own fault. I had a pair of motorcycle boots, and I shipped them out, and I shipped them the wrong way. I actually had a UPS guy come by and said he'll drop it off or whatever. I should have just dropped it off myself. It ended up getting stuck in transit somewhere, so I ended up telling the guy, I'm sorry, let me give you your money back. So once I gave him his money back, the merchandise finally arrived, and the guy never wanted to return some funds. So basically I gave him my motorcycle boots for free.
And you're out how much?
let's say $200.
And that sort of turned you off of at first even the idea of continuing with eBay, right?
Well, you have to work with a company and you're trying to get some kind of funds returned. If somebody's going to purchase something through you, obviously you're not supposed to refund them right away. You're supposed to work with them and try and work with eBay and make these phone calls. So it's a business. Don't just jump like I did and just try and satisfy the customer 100%. And the saddest thing was that after the guy finally got the boots and he didn't have to pay anything, he gave me a negative ding towards my account telling me that I was the bad guy. So you can't always satisfy every customer.
Well, one last question, and that is, would you consider maybe doing this again down the road?
Oh, yeah. I've still got all my supplies. I still love the company that I use. It's called Pirate Ship. It's a little bit cheaper than using the U.S. mail, and you get cheaper prices for shipping. I've still got all my boxes, all my poly bags, all my labels. I'm ready to go. I just need to find the merchandise that I like, and I think a lot of it has to deal with just buy hair dryers and simple clothing and stuff like that, stuff that people use every day. Don't try and buy some exotic electronics and try and make a good profit on it. Sometimes you're going to make $1, sometimes you're going to make $100.
Right.
You know, you got to buy volume, and that's how it works.
Okay, well, thanks, Mike, for your perspective, and hopefully out there that gives you all an idea of what this business entails, and you just got to stick with it. You're going to run into some bumps along the road, but just make sure that you pick yourself up and keep moving on. So yeah, Thursday was a stressful day. Like I said, I worked about 14 hours, but I had to put out some fires and deal with some people who bought some auctions from us. A guy bought 2 coffee makers, and after he bid and won, he informed us by message that due to the COVID-19, he wasn't interested in buying a used item. This is after he outbid people and won both listings. And this guy had 4 feedbacks, and I replied, hey, it's your choice if you're going to buy this item or not, but if you don't, we have to report it as a non-paying bidder because we want to get our fees back. So nothing personal, but that's just going to happen. And so of course we get a snarky reply that says, well, you can go ahead and report me if you want. I'm going to report you because I have the right to not buy this item if I don't want to. And so I replied back. I said, that's not how eBay works. It's an agreement between buyer and seller. If this is a more expensive piece of merchandise, someone could take you to court. Not to say that I'm going to, but just to give you an example, this is an agreement between you and I. And so again, don't buy it. You don't have to, but I have to report it to eBay. So basically he came back and said, well, you're insane. You go ahead and take me to court, and I'll put you on a YouTube video and it'll go viral. And so it kind of went back and forth, and basically he wanted me to cancel it, not report him to eBay. He wanted me to simply cancel it. And I don't cancel auctions because people, they don't read, and we make it clear in the description, and we make it clear in the condition area exactly the terms and conditions. So no email from him requesting to cancel before it ended. So no, we don't cancel. We report you to eBay, and that's what all of you should do, because we have to have something to report to eBay. Now, eBay may not do a whole lot, but honestly, I'd rather do that than just simply cancel. By the way, I want to give a shout out to Joe from the Crazy New York Driver Show. He's going through a lot of overcast, rainy, and even last week's snow. Well, there's not any rain and clouds or snow in sight. Well, we got some clouds, but it's certainly not a bad day out here. So yeah, that sums up just one example of how my day was rough, and dealing with this liquidation game. You got to, take labels off of products. You have to test the product. You have to, do your research on pricing, photo the product, figure out how you want to sell it, auction or good till canceled. And so there's just a lot that goes into it, So even that 14 hours, I only listed like 40 items total between auction and good till canceled. So, it doesn't seem like much, but, just a lot going on between the 2 accounts that I primarily list on. So, I needed today. And so I just encourage you to spend time with your family, spend time with your friends, get out, take at least one day a week. Don't put too much into it, because you will burn yourself out. It may seem so easy at the beginning, but flipping ain't easy. And every day you do this business, you'll learn all kinds of stuff about it, and you'll also learn how flipping ain't easy. So with that, I'll sign off, and we'll talk to you soon.